Hi guys! So today I'm gonna be doing a walkthrough tutorial on how to do very beginner-friendly makeup. This can be adjusted for any occasion as long as you're a beginner and you want to know like the basics of makeup. I am here with you. We're gonna go on this journey together. I'm clearly barefaced right now. It's all gonna be drugstore, so everything is gonna be really affordable, which is really great because most people that are just starting out in makeup are usually younger and can't afford to buy like expensive, you know, stuff in Sephora, you know, okay? When I go there, my wallet break. So for you beginners, I'm here to walk you through how to use each product and how to get the best like effect and result. Also to determine what kind of makeup you need, because you don't have to buy every single kind of makeup and put everything on your face like the first time you try out. I know it's very intimidating and I was intimidated when I first started out as well. So without further ado, I'm going to make up this face and I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing. I'm going to get really in-depth and I'm also using a bunch of L'Oreal products. The goal here with beginners makeup is not to conceal yourself, is to kind of just enhance your natural features while still looking very, very natural. So, you know, transition slowly. And I'm also really excited to share with you guys that there's gonna be a giveaway at the end of this video, so don't forget to keep on watching till the end. Feel free to thumbs up and subscribe while you're at it. I know I usually say this at like the end of the video, but if you want to show me your support, then I would gladly appreciate it. Alright, let's get started. Now, the first thing that you think of when you are trying to like get into makeup, like the first step would be base. For a lot of people that would mean primer or foundation, but if you're really young and you've just started out on makeup, chances are your skin is really nice. So I don't really think foundation is really necessary, but then again, it's up to you. If you have bad skin and you want to cover it up to feel more confident, then go ahead. I do have foundation with me right now, so I'm just gonna apply it. It's really shiny and really reflective, so I'm not gonna like flash it to you guys. This is the True Match Cushion in G1, which is gold ivory. Now, I don't know if this is my shade. I think it is. If you're just starting out in makeup, I don't recommend you buying like a beauty blender or getting a really expensive foundation brush. So your best bet at finding a foundation that is affordable and it comes with an applicator and applies really well and it's, you know, travel friendly, all that kind of stuff, is to get a BB cushion. Oh yeah, I think it's my shade. Even for me, and I have a lot of foundations, I still gravitate towards BB cushions a lot just because they are so simple. I don't have to wet the beauty blender, I don't have to wash the brushes after. I also think it's quite goof proof. I don't think you can really screw it up because you're literally just patting your face. And for any of you who want to get a foundation but you might not be able to afford a concealer, most BB cushions actually allow you to layer up a bit more. After doing one entire layer, you can just apply another thin layer at like wherever your problem spot is, and that should fix it without concealer. You want to pat and not smear, because when you smear, you drag your skin and that causes a lot of damage and a lot of wrinkles and it's just bad. But also it creates like a very uneven texture. This, it like clumps up here and you don't want to do that, so you want to like pat it gently. If you have good skin and you only have one small problem area, or if you feel like you can solve it with just concealer, then you don't really have to buy a foundation. Honestly, I started out with a concealer for a really long time and I used nothing but concealer for like 2 years, even though my skin wasn't perfect. So okay, I'm actually really impressed with this cushion. I was not expecting to like it so much. Almost like a satin matte finish. I know I look a bit ghostly here, but it really pairs with my skin very nicely and I'm very impressed with it. Now moving on to concealer, I'm using True Match Corrector, and just as a quick reminder, you don't have to use the exact same products that I'm using, but I mean, if I'm going through them and I like them, then you know I recommend them. So with this concealer, and it's quite watery, it comes with like a brush tip, which is quite interesting. I don't know why when people go concealer, they go ham and they draw like triangles. Why? What for? It's so heavy. So just cover where you need to cover. So right here, and yeah, honestly, I think that's it. Here, maybe around the nose. Pat it with my fingers. And that's another thing, you don't need brushes for every single makeup step. Sometimes your hands work really well. And I've just been using my fingers to blend out my concealer. And it also helps because the warmth from your fingers kind of melts the concealer and makes it very blendable. You want to be really gentle with your face. I know some girls that like smear on makeup with their hands like really harsh. Like, why would you do that to your face? So treat your face nicely and I'm sure your face will treat you nicely as well. I like this concealer. It's very light and watery, so it's really good for under the eyes, but I don't like it as much on my blemishes because it's a tad bit too light, so it almost like brings the blemishes forward a little bit, and also it doesn't cover super well. A guiding principle for concealers would be, if you want to cover your blemishes, you want something that's more creamy, that's more thick and that doesn't move as much. And if you want something to cover under eye circles or just general redness, then you can have something that's lighter and more watery. So this would be good for that. But if you want something to cover your blemishes, I highly recommend that you get it in the same shade as your foundation or the same shade as your skin tone. You want the blemishes to look like they have blended and they're not there and it's just your skin. For under eyes, I know that a lot of people always recommend that you get like one shade lighter, but I don't actually like that because I think it makes it look very strange. Like, why would this part be like suddenly brighter, right? So I also like using concealers that are exactly my shape under my eyes. So it's all up to personal preference if you want it a bit lighter and you want it like super bright underneath, or if you want it very natural. Now moving on to brows, and brows are very important. I know a lot of girls start out with brow pencils as their first ever makeup product. There are many forms of brow products. There are brow powders, there are brow pencils, there are brow gels, pomades, there are even like brow stains, you know, the list goes on and on. But for me, I started out with a brow pencil and I just filled in right at the very ends here to make it look very natural and nice. I have the Brow Artist Designer Pro 3-in-1. So one side is a retractable brow pencil, the other side is a spoolie, and right in the middle you get brow powder. This is very travel friendly, it's very convenient, and I actually used this before they revamped it and it was in like black and I used it for a really long time. So I know that I like this product and I'm gonna demo for you guys. But what you want when you fill in your brows for the very first time is you want them to look as natural as possible. Don't just go on Instagram or Tumblr or I don't know, Pinterest or like, you know, magazines and look at someone's brow and go, oh my god, that's a perfect brow, I want that brow on my face, because that usually doesn't work. What you are born with is usually the most flattering shape for you. I have straight brows, but because I pluck them, they have quite a soft arc and I feel like that is the best brow shape for me. So just go with your natural shape. There's no hard and fast rule. I prefer brow pencils because they are so easy to control and you can just draw individual hairs in. So for someone who is not super experienced in drawing brows, you can still achieve a very realistic brow look that is not like too like, oh my god, what is that? I remember a few years ago, like when the people around me started wearing makeup, it was horrendous because they drew like rectangular blocks. It's just not a good look. Like none of the girls now that used to do that look still continue with that brow look, so I'm trying to like prevent a disaster. This is the spoolie. It's what combs out your brows. So what you want to do first when you get to your brows is you want to comb them out. Now if you don't have one of these spoolies at the end of your brow pencil, either buy one or just go to Sephora. They have a ton of disposable mascara wands. They are just spoolies. So just take one, it's fine, they don't mind. Instead of going an outline like this, I actually start from this end, kind of mimic my hairs, and I just draw very quick and fast strokes. I'm not pressing down super hard. I'm just literally feathering and then following the arc. Very quickly go back and brush the brows out. That's all there is to do. For beginners, you really don't want anything stronger than this. So this is how my brows look zoomed out, and this is how my brows look without filling them in. So actually it does make quite a big difference. Eyebrows may seem daunting to a lot of beginners at first, but it's actually one of the most easy things to do. So I'm not gonna zoom in now so you can just see how it's like. I usually don't touch the front of my brows. I don't want it to look too heavy, but if you have very sparse brows here, then feel free to do what I did, but just go a little bit lighter. If you go out of the line and your edge is not as sharp anymore, it's fine to just run your finger and like remove it, smudge it out, or use a cotton bud, it's fine. There you go, brows are done, and usually I can just leave them like this. I can just go out like this and it's completely fine. In a really humid weather, you have really oily skin and you want to make sure that your brows stay put, what you want to do is add powder onto where you filled in, like these parts here, so that the powder will set what you have applied with your brow pencil and it won't be tacky and then it won't smudge. So because it's so convenient for me, I'm going to apply. I'm also going to run it in front. Powders are a lot less harsh than how brow pencils look, so it actually looks quite nice if I just blend it like that. Also because this brow pencil is dark brown and my eyebrows are like black, so I want to blend it in a bit better. The trick to applying with powder is also not to press too hard. When you go light, you can always add a bit and a bit and a bit, but if you apply too much at once, it's very difficult to remove everything completely and start again. It's just not worth it. Let's get into eyes now, and I'm gonna be talking about eyeshadow. Now if you're just starting out, like literally just starting out, eyeshadow is not necessary. When I first started out with makeup, I think I only got mascara, brows and lip balm, and concealer, and eyeliner. I love that shit, eyeliner. But if you're a beginner and you are starting out with makeup because you have functions to attend, weddings, Chinese New Year, school events, prom, if you're like a performer and you know in school you need to do your own makeup, I'm gonna show you a very easy way of applying a smoky eye, and it looks good and it's like foolproof and it doesn't look amateurish at all, but it's very easy to do. Single eyeshadows are really expensive if you buy them like one by one, and palettes are usually very expensive, you know, talking about like Kat Von D, Urban Decay, but drugstore palettes are pretty good too. This is a really great example. This is La Palette Nude in Rose. For a first palette, you want something in the neutral family, so maybe golds all the way to browns, beiges all the way to browns, or even rose all the way to browns. It makes the palette very versatile when you have a range of dark and light colors. Also, a mix of matte and shimmer shadows. So shimmer shadows are nice because they're very easy to blend, so very beginner friendly and it's very forgiving. But matte shades are also really important. This would make a really good contour shade for your nose and for the outer corners of your eyes, and you want something that's matte so that it's not too intense and not everything is like a glitter bomb on your face, you know? But with eyeshadow application, you do need brushes. I mean, you can use your fingers, but it's gonna be very messy, and I really recommend you buying brushes. It's a good investment to make, and there are very affordable brushes out there. So besides the one inside the applicator, I'm gonna be using this blending brush. It's from e.l.f., which is only $3, and honestly that is quite a steal. Now I know that e.l.f. doesn't really ship to Singapore, but there are a couple of resellers in Singapore that maybe charge $9 or $10 for this brush. With this blending brush, I'm gonna dip into the brown. The purpose of this matte brown is to add depth to your eyes and to create a more three-dimensional look. I'm just going to apply it to my crease, very softly sweeping it. Your crease is literally where your eyelids crease, so if you have double eyelids where your folds kind of come together. But if you have single eyelids, and I used to have them too, what I did was just kind of do this since there was no crease above, so I just kind of darkened around the eye, and that really helped a lot. So I'm just going to blend it. How high you sweep the color would be how dark your eyes would look. I'm not going to go too far, and I'm gonna focus on my outer corners because I want the color to be strongest here. Doesn't make sense for it to be here, right? It's just gonna be like an awkward gloop. Occasionally you can sweep it in, but I try not to sweep it too far in, and I try to focus on the outer third of my eye. Next up, for the lid, I want quite a light and shimmery color. This is going to be my color of choice. It's the second from the left, and I'm gonna pick some up with the L'Oreal eyeshadow brush and apply it all over my lid. I'm focusing it closer to the lash line and then slowly sweeping it around. I don't mind kind of sweeping it around to blend it, but I really don't want to go too high, so I usually kind of stop right here, and I use the blending brush again and I kind of blend the two colors together. Now using this end of the brush that comes with the palette, I'm going to pick this purple right here. This helps to darken out the crease as well, and also, you know, adds a bit more color. It's quite pretty. Going back to add that pink right on the top. Blending out all over again with that brown. The trick with eyeshadows is you really have to spend a bit of time blending it. Final step, I'm going to be using the other side of this eyeshadow brush, picking up the lightest color right here. I'm going to highlight, brow bone, and inner corners right here. This part you can use your fingertips, that's fine. I don't extend my highlight inside here because that's very unnatural. This is where your nose naturally casts a shadow. So right on the outside here, and inner corners right here. really opens up the eyes. Now let's move on to eyeliner, one of the trickiest things to start out with. And there are 3 different kinds of eyeliners to the best of my knowledge. There are pencil eyeliners, gel eyeliners, and liquid eyeliners. Usually pencil liners are a lot more easy to control and more forgiving when you first start out. This is the Superstar Duo Designer. This is actually really interesting because if you want to start out with like pencil eyeliner but you also want to have the option of having liquid liners, this is perfect for you. It's dual-ended, right? So one end is a brush liner. It can get really fine, which is very nice. And the other side is a pencil liner. It's retractable. So I have a metallic one with me here. A few months ago, they also released one with like a black pencil eyeliner. So if you're a beginner, I very highly recommend that. But this is just fun for me, you know? What the hell? Silver eyeliners. I'm gonna apply the silver in my inner corners. Woohoo! They're so cute! Shiny! If you aren't comfortable with liquid liners or if you just prefer pencil liners in general, I encourage you to find either black ones or brown ones in the drugstore because those come really cheap, but you do have to worry that sometimes they might smudge. So I have oily eyelids, so sometimes they do smudge on me. When I did have single eyelids, I used to draw them really thick, and I would recommend that for you as well. If you have single eyelids, you want to close your eyes and then open and see where your fold kind of disappears, and then just trace. It looks really thick, but when you open your eyes, it just looks like there's a little line there. If you have double eyelids, then I suggest going with a very thin line at first. I'm just gonna fill it in so you can see it now. Zoom. So you want to lay it almost like flat. You don't want to do it like this because this is very difficult to control. If you get the base of the eyeliner, then you can just kind of do this. My hand is kind of resting on my cheek. You don't have to, but it helps stabilize. I start from the middle and I go out because I want that to determine how thick I want my line to be, and then slowly fill it in like this. So you see here, I kind of like knocked it a bit, right? So I just even it out. There, you know, just even it out. Your bottom eye line, you just follow this line and you extend it out. And then you just connect. And this is the difference eyeliner makes. Now I've done my eyeliner and I actually really like this shape, but the problem is my wings are now uneven, and this is a very typical problem that a lot of people have, you know, whether you're experienced or not, it just happens. So what you want to do is grab a bit of makeup remover, like just a little bit, or even just water is fine. Draw it again. In any case, if you do decide that it's not working, one is too thick, one is not thick enough, and the eyeliner is just really uneven and you do have to like take it off, perfectly fine to just go again and then apply it. But I won't deny that it takes extra time, so practice makes perfect, you know, just draw when you can. Don't use eyeshadow, so you know it's easy for you to remove, and most importantly, just go lightly and just, you know, increase slowly, bit by bit. Final step for the eyes, we're moving into mascara. This is the Butterfly Lash, and I have never tried this before. I've always wanted to. Apparently, it gives you very nice, beautiful, fluttery lashes, which is what I want. Now, it depends on what you want in a mascara. Do you want your lashes to look really clean, really long, really voluminous, really black? So it just all depends on what you want. For me, I like really fluttery and natural, like long and wispy lashes, so butterfly lashes. Going to apply it. Shall I zoom in again? Oh. This is my first time using it. The wand is very different. Now you can use a lash curler if you want, but when I first started out I didn't lah, so it's fine. And also I think it will scare a lot of beginners because it's like a ugly contraption, right? When applying mascara, you want to make sure you tilt your head up and you look down so that when you apply mascara, it doesn't hit your eye area right here. You want to like wiggle a bit, but you also want to pull it through several times, so just kind of alternate those movements, because if you keep doing this, right, it's gonna look really chunky and clunky. So I comb it out and then I do this to add more product and then pull it out again. So this is one coat of mascara. I'm going to apply another coat. Okay, this is with 2 coats and it's obvious that there's a very big difference. Now this is very voluminous and it actually lengthens quite a bit as well. From what I can see, it's not clumpy here, but it's actually a little bit clumpy here. Might be me not combing it through all the way, but I quite like this mascara. And the good thing about mascara is that it expires every like 3 to 6 months, so you can just replace it and try a new one every time. I also really like the double extend one and a couple of Maybelline ones. We are done with the eyes, so let's move on to cheeks. This is the Infallible Pro Contour and it's a highlight and contour palette. It comes with its very own brush that looks kind of like this. Very cute. I want to try this brush, and this is the blush brush, but actually it's really nice for contouring. Because we are beginners today, I want to try something that's a bit softer and more forgiving. So you want to find something that's angled, a bit softer like this. I'm gonna dip my brush, pick up a little bit, just a little bit. Locate where your cheekbones naturally sit. Now that fish thing does work, like for some people, but it doesn't work for me because my jaw is very strong. I know my cheekbones are here, so I know that my shadows are supposed to be right here. So I'm just gonna apply it. I don't do it like a stripe because that looks really fake. I kind of do it in like a circular motion and I just kind of buff a shadow like this area right here. I focus a bit more right on the outside and then just kind of blend it in. I go right here as well. In the daytime, you can afford to go a lot more light-handed, but if you're clubbing or if you're sitting in front of very bright lights like I am, then you can go ham. And always start out from right here because it doesn't make sense if like your shadow stops here. The purpose of contour is to add back your natural shadows that the foundation or concealer has naturally removed, and also to kind of bring back areas that you want to hide. So for me, I like having a stronger jaw, so I like to do this to my jaw. I like to carve out cheekbones for myself, which is why I do this. And some people who have big foreheads that want to kind of recede it can apply them here, 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 or here. But because I have quite a small forehead, I'm not gonna do that. If you've got like a double chin or just like a looser chin and you want to shade it, you can always do this. I'm also going to take my blending brush, dip that contour and also contour my nose. You don't have to do this on an everyday basis, but anyone that wants to know how to nose contour, if you're going for like a photo shoot, special event, or if you're just insecure about your nose, that's completely fine by the way. You can just kind of run it where your natural shadow is, and then I bring it up a bit higher as well because it doesn't make sense for it to only get skinny here and be like really flat here. If it looks weird, then use a clean brush to blend it out, but if not, just go lightly. That is nose settle. I could highlight it as well, but honestly I don't really want to. So if you want to highlight, just right here and right here. It's just like a little exclamation mark, you know? I'm gonna go in with blush now because L'Oreal did send me this, but honestly, if you're a beginner, right, just use your lipstick like that, or like put it on your fingers and then just pat. So save yourself some blush, or like get a lip stain and then use that lip stain on your cheeks as well. But I'm just gonna apply it lah, because why not? I'm going to dust this brush off and just use the same brush. This is how you can save money if you are just starting out and you want to use brushes. This is a very handy thing to have because you can apply powder, blush, contour, highlight, pretty much everything really. I'm just barely touching it and applying it very lightly on the apples of the cheeks. This is in the shade Earthy Coral and I really like it actually. It has a very nice kind of natural blush look. That's the blush. Final step, highlight. Everybody loves the highlight. There are liquid highlighters, gel highlighters, and powder highlighters. And I do have a highlight shade here, but if you don't have a highlighter, what you can go for is a very light eyeshadow. Like this one from the palette, for example. Once again, you can clean this brush and use it, but I'm lazy, so I'm just gonna go in with my highlighter brush and just apply a bit right here. Oh, it's very nice. It's very subtle. Just makes the skin kind of glowy. I know some girls like to put their highlight here so it looks like their cheeks are glowing, but if you have oily skin, that's not a good idea because you're gonna get shiny anyway. So I just like to put it right here so it's like BAM! Hits you on the cheeks. Final step is the lips, and I have two options for you guys. If you are ready to start your adventure on lipsticks, I highly recommend the Color Riche lipsticks. These lipsticks have been around forever and for good reason. They are very creamy, very rich, very moisturizing, and just lovely pigmentation. And I have a few of them already in my stash, so this is a new one for me. This is called Beige Couture. As you can see, this does a really good job of like brightening your lip color and just making it pop a little bit without being too much. But if you're really uncomfortable with lipsticks and you want something that's a bit lighter, that's completely understandable, tinted lip balms are the way to go. This is a really good tinted lip balm. This is in Daydream Beige. This is how the tinted lip balm looks like, and this is the lipstick. As you can tell, it's a lot more sheer and a lot more manageable. You don't have to worry about, you know, going outside of the lines or whatnot. As you can see, this is very natural and it's also quite glossy. I don't really go for like glossy lips, but this is so creamy and balmy that it feels really comfortable and also gives me quite a nice shine. I'm gonna set my face with powder right now. I'm using the matte magique-bb-veil, getting a retractable Kabuki brush. This is also from L'Oreal. Gonna dip it and buff it out. This reduces shine and also sets your makeup so that it doesn't kind of like slide around throughout the day. I just usually set right in the middle because the sides of my face don't really get too crazy, and also because we've already applied powder. It also comes with a sponge right at the back if you don't have a brush, but highly recommend brushes to set everything in place and just to kind of make it a bit like, you know, celebratory. We're gonna go in with the Infallible setting spray. Oh jeez. Okay, it smells like something. It's not super pleasant, but it's not super gross either. Setting sprays are not absolutely necessary for beginners, but if you want your makeup to stay for a really long time, this is a very good option. So this is the finished look, and it's actually a really simple and put together makeup look. Anyone can customize this in any way. Up the intensity, you know, lower the intensity. It's all fine and dandy. Just figure out what works for you. Remember that makeup should always cater to you and you shouldn't cater to makeup. So do what you want and don't do what you don't want, and then just have fun with it because like makeup is so fun. I hope you guys found this really helpful, and I hope you find this part even more helpful because I have a giveaway for you guys. Oh my gosh! The winner of this giveaway will have the exact items that I've used in this video. Obviously it's gonna be like a nicer bag lah, but I'm just storing it here right now. Okay, let me show you guys what's in here. First thing is the retractable Kabuki brush. It's very important to have a good brush. This is very soft and you can actually use this for powder, foundation, blush or contour. I'm also throwing in the setting powder itself, and also the setting spray, the lipstick in Beige Couture, the dual-ended eyeliner, the Brow Artist Designer, the Butterfly Lash Mascara, the eyeshadow palette, and last but not least, this thing. And you're like, oh my god, what is that? It is a makeup organizer, so you can put all your new makeup in. Oh my god, I'm so excited about it. This is actually mine, so you'll get this and we can have matchy organizers. So if you want to win this set, don't forget to click subscribe, like this video, and also comment down below on why you want this set. Let me know if you're a beginner. If you're not a beginner, that's fine as well. Just tell me why you want it and I'll be able to pick the best comment. Just in case you're wondering, I didn't add any concealer or foundation or anything with like shades specific to your skin because I didn't want to predetermine like who would win. Like, it's not really fair for me to put in concealers that are like my skin tone because then only someone else with my skin tone can use it. So hope that makes sense. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to click the thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. I make new videos every week, and don't forget to hit that bell button next to the subscribe button to be notified when I make a new video. I am so happy I got to do this for you guys. This has been really requested, so I hope this is helpful and I will see you guys really soon.